try again. Right, can you hear me properly? Yes. Okay. My God, that was an absolute pain in the sphincter. Let's not start that, Mr. Trump. Not in the mood after that. It just would not connect. Just had to go and I restarted the hub 3 times, and it just wasn't picking it up at all. So I tried using my MiFi. Fucking hell, what is the matter with me tonight? So I tried using my MiFi, my mobile Wi-Fi thing there, and it picked it up on the computer. However, it didn't seem to be able to cope with all of the data going through. But what a nightmare. So turn that off. So we're back. It is. Technology is wonderful. And you say this is the problem, okay? Because eventually, I shouldn't say the word because they'll flag my channel, but eventually terrorists are going to learn how to completely send us back to the Stone Age. Click of a button, everything gone. Life. And do you know what? People my age will be able to cope, but all them youngsters, they're going to go mad. I am sorry about that, people. There wasn't any power cuts. It wasn't a power cut or anything. It just, for some reason, the Wi-Fi just went off. There was no indication on the hub that it was playing up. So I switched it off anyway whilst I restarted the machine. And then it just wouldn't come back on. So I'd restarted it again and it still wouldn't come back on. So I tried my MiFi and that connected, but it, for some reason, it wouldn't. I think it was too much data trying to go through it. And so then I restarted it again, and now it's back. So let's hope it stays this time, because that's an absolute pain in the backside. Change that to live chat so I can see everybody's. Yeah, maybe the National Crime Agency have been on to Virgin Media. Right. Oh, Graham, what a nightmare. Yeah, no, I sat here for about 5 minutes, and that one normally comes back on well within that time. And it wasn't even picking it up. It wasn't even picking up that the Wi-Fi existed in the Wi-Fi options on the computer. Picking up everyone else's, but not mine. So, right, let's get into this anyway, because I watched, it was a video, but it was a recording, so it was a black screen, and it was a recording of a woman on Facebook earlier today who was saying that her son works for a company, and they've been told not to download this NHS app. And the reason they've been, and I mean, you know, I'm not telling you what to do because we already know what I think. I think you do anyway. But let me just explain what it is. This woman said, "Do not download this." Her son told her, "Do not download the NHS app because regardless to whether you are, whether you come into contact with somebody or not, it will flag up as that you have, and you've got no way to verify it." Do you know what I mean? There's no way to verify that whether you actually have or not, but the app will say you have. Okay. Now, I was thinking, and that kind of makes sense. And I'll tell you why that kind of makes sense is because if the government are trying to control people, if the government are trying to lock people down, if everybody gets this app and say everybody that gets it on Monday are going to be in different places all around the country, everybody that gets it on Monday, they could be locked down the following Monday. That's, you know, potentially thousands of people locked down, or tens of thousands of people locked down on the Monday following week. Everybody that downloads it on a Tuesday could be locked down the following Tuesday, right? And eventually everybody everywhere will have at least a fortnight of lockdown. Okay? Which kind of makes sense coming from a government point of view. Right? Can you see what I'm saying with this? Because the government get what they want then. They get everybody locked down. See what I mean? Now, there is no way to verify whether or not you have been in contact with somebody that has COVID-19. We already know, we've already heard Hancock and some of the others talking about the false positives that people are getting. So somebody's going for a test, they get a false positive, they're marked up as actually having COVID when they haven't. Yeah, because it's a false positive. And then there are people that are going to get flagged on their phones because somebody's got a false positive. Plus there could be people just getting flagged randomly, even without coming into contact with somebody. So what I've decided to do, because you have to be within 2 meters of somebody for a certain amount of time. I am never within 2 meters of somebody for that amount of time. Okay. So what I'm deciding to do is this phone. This is the one with the YouTube WhatsApp number on. This one stays here all the time. This never leaves the house. All right. So I'm going to download the NHS app onto this phone. It's not going on my phone, the one that I carry with me. It's going on this one. I'm going to put the NHS app on here. This is going to stay here. This is going to be at least 3 or 4 meters away from somebody at all times, because we've got upstairs and they're a good 3 meters away from me. So that is never going to come in contact with anybody that's got COVID-19. So if that flags up that somebody that I need to self-isolate, I've got proof that it's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? So so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on here. I'll show you it. I'm going to do it now, and I'll show you me downloading it, and I'll set it all up on my phone. And this phone, as I say, will literally stay on this desk, and that's where it always stays. Nobody's coming anywhere near it apart from me. And seeing as the app's not going on my normal phone, it should never tell me that I've come into contact with somebody. Which I thought was quite a clever plan. I've not heard anybody else come up with that. So there's focus. Come on, focus. So that's the exposure notification, COVID-19 NHS app. So we'll install that. Installed. Open. I'll read you through this as well, because most of you won't have seen this. Okay, so I'm gonna read you through the screen as I go through it. Okay. So it says, you will be helping us beat COVID-19 by sharing anonymous information about the virus in your region and public health when you use the app. Get notified. Find out when you've been near other app users who have tested positive for coronavirus. Check into venues. Use the app's QR code scanner to check into places like bars and restaurants without having to fill out any forms. Check for symptoms. Feeling unwell, check out whether you could have coronavirus and order a free test if you need one. Isolation countdown. If you're isolating, the app will count down the days and give you the right information. So basically, you'll have, your phone will give you a countdown. Okay, your phone will give you a countdown of when you are allowed out. So, continue. Are you over 16? I am over 16. Protecting your privacy. Look, I'm not reading through all that. I already know that they don't give a shit about my privacy anyway. Actually, if I click, right, okay, you have to click yes, I accept your privacy notice. You can't not click it, because it just takes you back a step. So you've got to click agree. Enter the first part of your postcode. Right, contact tracing. Contact tracing helps prevent the spread of coronavirus. The app will send you an alert if you've been in close contact with someone who has tested positive for the virus. To enable contact tracing for this app, you need to allow exposure notifications. Okay, continue. Turn on. Turn on. L21 area, risk level is high. Your app is active and scanning. Okay, so, I don't know if you can, when that focuses. Come on, focus. Right, so that's what it's doing at the moment. Your app is active and scanning. Venue check-in, check symptoms, blah, 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 enter test results, etc., etc. Now, I will say one thing. Oh, it is switched on, but it doesn't say it's switched on. Okay, I'll tell you something. This uses Bluetooth. This app uses Bluetooth, okay? However, if I go to the notification bar, it says that Bluetooth is on. Now, normally when Bluetooth is on, across the top in the notification area here, it has the Bluetooth sign, but the Bluetooth sign is not showing. And it should be. You know where it pops down at the top and it tells you the time, the battery level and all that stuff, yeah? It should tell you there that Bluetooth is on, but it doesn't tell me that it's on. But when I go into settings, Bluetooth is on. Right, so luckily I don't save any numbers on this, so nobody has to worry about any information going anywhere. So that's it. That is now loaded on. I'll let that do its thing, and if I get a notification, I'll let you know. How you doing, Dean? So anyway, yeah. So obviously I'll keep you updated with that. If I get any, if I get told to if I get told to self isolate, I'm going to send them a picture of this. RJ, it's fine. It's fine. It's not the phone that I use daily anyway. That phone is literally only for WhatsApp messages, for the channel. That's it. I don't save any details on there. I'm not putting it, it's definitely not going on my actual phone, but it's literally, this is a test. This is a test because somebody said earlier in a video that this app is automatically flagging people. You've got no evidence, you've got no proof if you've come into contact with somebody. Thank you, under a blood red sky. So you've got no proof of coming into contact with somebody. So this phone won't be within 3 meters of anybody ever, apart from me. Okay. So if it does anything, then I know that it's BS. Yes, realising you don't know, it is a secondary phone, yeah. Trump, you haven't just downloaded it as well, have you? I actually want to see what this does. So, that's why I've done it. I want to see what happens. If I only had this phone, which is my daily phone, which goes with me everywhere, if I had that, I wouldn't do it. It's only because I've got this secondary phone which never leaves the house. So yeah, so there we go. I believe you can uninstall it, but when you reinstall it, it comes back to the information that was on there before. It's a bit like, you know if you sign into Google Games, like Google, when you play a game on your phone and you sign into Google or Apple, for example, it saves the information on their servers. So when you reload the game again, all of your lives and all of your points and everything else, all of your progress comes back. I believe that's exactly the same as this. Strap a phone running the NHS app to your cat and let it out. Oh dear. So that'd be interesting to see what happens there anyway. I'll just double check because the sound's off at the moment, just in case I've got a... No notification yet. I'm okay. I haven't got COVID yet. Why would the NHS want to know what you've been looking at? The NHS, it's not like they're selling anything as such, is it? I mean, I know every organisation can probably sell something, but I don't see why the NHS would want to use it as a marketing tool. So to be honest, I thought it was going to take longer to install that app, to be honest, but there you go. Jackie, I'll tell you what, it is a pain sometimes having the two, but it's easier for me to manage because the phone that I've just installed that app on literally lives in front of my computer. And I only turn it on when I'm in front of the computer, when I'm doing videos or checking for people that have sent me stories. And as I say, the other phone hasn't got anything on it, hasn't got the NHS app on it, so we'll see what happens. Well, Warrior Wales, we already know that some of the players, you know, some of the people with big stakes in a lot of these companies are actually friends with the people that are imposing these rules on us, aren't they? So that wouldn't surprise me. RJ, I'll be able to prove that I haven't. That's the thing. I'll be able to prove that I haven't been anywhere near anybody, because they'll have to tell, or it will be on their system where that crossing happened, where I came into contact with somebody. If this phone doesn't leave this room and it tells me that I crossed paths with somebody down the road, I know that it's all bullshit. Do you know what I mean? And we'll all know it's bullshit. As I say, I have absolutely no reason to take that phone with me anywhere, because it does nothing for me apart from receive messages from WhatsApp for the channel, and that's it. So so yeah, as I say, we'll see what happens anyway. We'll see what happens. Record everything, no worries. You take it easy. Take it easy. Yeah, it would. It would UK audit, definitely. How you doing, Simon? Yeah, banana. Banana. Google location is on that phone anyway, so yeah, it will prove that I've not been anywhere. Oh, not on that phone, Lucifer. Don't worry. I'm not Manchester Police. I'm not about to breach anyone's data. Don't worry about that. Oh, my apologies, Athelstan. Sorry. Forgive me. It's not my porn phone. The screen's too small to watch porn on. I'll use this new 34-inch monitor that I've got for the computer. My neighbours don't come close enough to it. It's 2 metres, isn't it? I have to be within 2 metres of somebody for a period of time. You know, a suggested period of time. Even if the postman comes, he ain't near it long enough. Do you know what I mean? He walks past. He's about 1.5 metres, 2 metres away. He'll literally walk past, and he'll be in range for about a second, and then he'll walk past again, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? So I know that. It's, if it flags up, it's going to be bullshit. It's 21:29, Gaza. Yeah. Well, in fact, it's 21:30 now. No, Ratty, they're not close enough. Not close enough, mate. It's a 2 metre distance, isn't it? So it's a 2 metre distance that you've got to be within somebody that's got it for a period of time. Do you know what I mean? And there is, because the phone stays in this room, This is the little girl's room upstairs. She ain't got a phone anyway. Do you know what I mean? And the parents live at the other end of the flat. So as long as this phone stays in this room, there is no way that it's going to be flagged up. Well, this is what I'm trying to test, Roger, you see. I'm trying to test whether or not, if it flags me up and says I've been in contact with somebody, I would then be able to turn around and say to you, look, postman walked past yesterday and, you know, he weren't close enough. Or I can speak to them upstairs and say to them, have you got the app? Which I don't think they have, because I've already spoke to them a while ago. So so there is literally nobody coming here that will have the app, and if they do, they won't be close enough to this phone, this device right here on the desk in front of me. They won't be close enough to it for long enough. So I just want to be able to turn around and say to people, well, look, you know, this is the situation. It's flagged me up, or it hasn't flagged me up. You know, again, I just want to give you information. Do you know what I mean? I want to be honest with you. I want to give you information. If I can find something out about this that other people haven't done yet, then it's all good as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Under a Blood Red Sky. Aki? Who's Aki? Not talking about purple Aki, are you? Oh, Akin Whale. Oh, okay, gotcha. Do you know what I did Under a Blood Red Sky? But that was like, what was that? It was like 2 weeks ago now, wasn't it? Shh, Graham's back in the room. Be quiet, everyone. Delete your comments. Ricky, it's got to be proportionate. It's got to be reasonable for the circumstances. I think if you knew somebody was breaking in and you hid behind a wall with a television over your head, like one of the big square ones, and they walked through and you hit them over the head, that wouldn't be classed as proportionate, because you weren't at that point in immediate danger as such. Although it's dangerous than being in the house, they're not fronting you and confronting you. Do you know what I mean? If somebody was running at you, gonna, you know, lay hands on you or had a weapon, and you picked up your flat screen TV, span round and smashed them with it, I'd say that's proportionate, because at that moment they are coming at you. Do you know what I mean? And you have to do what you can to protect your life. So I would say that doing something like that's proportionate. But if he was hiding, waiting for somebody to come in, and you'd seen them come in or heard them come in, and then you smashed them over the head, that would be excessive. Again, I think that would still be classed as excessive. I mean, you might get a judge that would be reasonable about it, but the chances are you wouldn't. So if it would have to be you would have, it's hard to explain. If somebody broke in, if I had my kids in the house and somebody broke in, if I fronted them, which I'd have to do you know what I mean? And then they made any move other than fucked off out, then I'd be within my rights to hit them. Even if I pick something up and hit them, I'll be perfectly within my rights to do that. If I tell them to get out and they don't. Yeah, if they go for me or if they try and make a move anywhere other than back out the way they came in, I'd say you'd be perfectly within your rights to hit them with something. But if you hit them and then hit them and hit them and hit them and hit them and then picked up a telly and dropped it on their head and then just started slamming their head in the front door, obviously that's going overboard. You're only allowed to use force that until the threat is over. Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, by continuing to beat somebody when they're on the floor, the threat could be over and you're still going. Do you know what I mean? You have to give them the chance, which sounds really stupid, but you have to give them a chance to bugger off or pass out. Well, if they've got a knife in their hand, then you've got the right, as I say, you've got the right to use reasonable force. But the other thing to remember as well is if they're 10 foot away from you and they're holding a knife and they're not coming for you, they've just got a knife in their hand, it's a threatening situation. But at that point, your life is not in immediate danger. Your life only becomes in immediate danger when they come towards you, at which point you can use pretty much as much force as you want. But as soon as you've used that force, you've then got to sort of step back and go, right, and you've then got to give the person a chance to either lay on the floor out cold or get up and do one. Do you know what I mean? Evening, Lego. How you doing, mate? How you doing, Yorkshire Auditor? Well, Ricky, the thing is, if you hurt somebody in the back, it means that they're not a threat to you because they're not facing you, and that's why shooting somebody in the back, so to speak, is a bad thing. Somebody can only be a threat to you really if they're facing you. Do you know what I mean? So again, using the example as if you're hiding around a corner and somebody's broken into your house, they walk past you and then you step out and stab them in the kidneys. That is excessive force because you weren't at that point in a direct threatening situation, and you have to be in that threatening situation. It's slightly different if there's three people. You've got to do what you can to protect your life. Do you know what I mean? I still wouldn't suggest stabbing somebody in the back or hitting them over the back of the head because, again, at that point, they're probably running away. But yeah, you have to be in a situation where anybody looking in would say, well, yeah, obviously I'd have felt threatened as well. But if somebody's turned round and they're looking the other way or they're going the other way and you do something to them, it's going to be classed as not an immediate threat at that point. Therefore, any action that you take would be excessive. Unicorn, no problem at all. I hope you're okay. No, that's right, Gavin. If they're running away and you chase them, that's a separate incident in itself. Do you know what I mean? As stupid as it sounds, you then become the aggressor if you chase after them. Yes, Ratty, if they're running away towards somebody else to do that other person harm and it's obvious they're going to do them harm, you have a right as a human being, you have a right to protect that other person as well. You can use reasonable force to protect yourself and other people. Evening, JJ. Are they a threat if they're heading for your Xbox? Only if they're better at FIFA than me. Or if they finish that last level on Grand Theft Auto that I've not finished yet. Because I want to finish it. Hello, Sue. Hello, Big Burps. Yeah, you've got premeditated. Fuck off. Premeditated. You can strike first. Yeah, of course you can. Certainly not saying that you have to wait for somebody to hit you. If you feel that you are in genuine threat of injury or harm, yeah, there's one for you, Lucifer. If you feel that you're in genuine threat of harm, you can take a preemptive action. Under a blood red sky, do you know what? So much has happened in the last couple of weeks. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head the story. Bearing in mind, I have to look at 20, 30 stories every day, sometimes more, and read them. So it is a bit of a nightmare trying to remember specific things. So I apologise, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll have another look. And in fact, I'm going to go on here and go to that. So you said it was on Instagram, wasn't it? You was talking about. I don't think police take citizens' arrest seriously at all. I think because they still feel that we ain't got a clue what we're doing as citizens. You can citizens arrest a copper, but, and this is something I discussed the other day in the live stream, the problem is, as soon as they stop acting out of office, they sort of become coppers again. They're only not police whilst they're acting outside of their oath of office. And once they start acting within their oath of office again, they're sort of police again. Do you know what I mean? You, for example, you cannot citizens arrest somebody. I believe it's this way round. You can't citizens arrest somebody that committed a crime. So if somebody committed a crime an hour ago, you can't then citizens arrest them. They have to be in the process of, or literally just about to start an indictable crime, and then you can citizens arrest them. Well, that's where it gets tricky. Because you would have to have a bloody good bit of evidence to prove that there was reason for you to believe they were doing something they shouldn't. Let's use Sampson, PC William Sampson 3139 from South Yorkshire Police as an example. Thank you, Copwatch, young man. Who the frickin' hell is... Hang on a second. Dave! I think. Number 12. I've not ordered nothing. Alright. COVID Marshall. No, it was I don't know. I should have just taken it in. Delivery. Milkshake time. You haven't ordered nothing, have you? Because I've sent... No, shut up. I just sent him on his way. Oh, no. Are you serious, Trump? Are you serious? Oh. 1 second. Daisy, get in there. Well, give us a second, folks. Get in there. It's a parcel. He's just... I didn't know. You nutcase. Daisy, get out. So anyway, before I delve into that and have a look what's in there, if we use William Sampson 3139 as a scenario, if somebody saw him do what he did, run up and club that kid round the back of the head, okay, you could at that point, or I would at that point, I'd have gone over, I'd have grabbed hold of him, I'd have pulled him off. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people, most people won't, because they don't know what an indictable offence is. But that was wank, and he needed grabbing hold of, but nobody did. But that, in my opinion, would be something worthy of a citizen's arrest. Yes, Double D, I'd have pulled him off. Right. Shall we have a look, see what's in here? Oh my word. I'm just emptying my sacks here. That looks like a chocolate sundae of some description. Look at that. My word. What was it, Trump? Anyway, what did you get? You don't need to do this, by the way. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. Hello, Fergus. I've been back on for 44 minutes and 44 seconds. And a drink. Is that the same drink as last time? Because that was fit, that was. Yeah, it was a Sunday. I thought it was. And that milkshake was fit, that last one. Oh dear. Are you trying to make me fat? Are you a chubby chaser? Are you trying to make me fat? Do you know what, Trump? I don't mind. I don't mind. You don't have to, obviously. There's never any obligation for anybody to give anything, but that is very much appreciated. Thank you. I am going to go put it in the fridge because I've still got a bit of coffee there. Here's a feeder. Let me go put these in the fridge, Mr. Trump. Thank you again. I can feel my thighs fattening already just thinking about it. Oh dear. Yeah, didn't you hear that fat people are more susceptible to getting COVID-19? That I couldn't tell you, Ricky Tricky. I couldn't answer that question if you're inside custody room, for example. So normally you'd make a citizen's arrest because there's no police around. Under, what was it, section... I can't remember what it's called now. There is a piece of legislation that allows you to use reasonable force against somebody who is, it's the citizen's arrest thing basically, but there's another piece of legislation that allows you to use reasonable force when helping the police arrest somebody. If the police are around, I think, and you try and do a citizen's arrest, I don't think that would go down too well because the police should be doing it and you should let the police do it. But yeah, I think if you try to do it in a police station, I think the first thing they're going to do is jump on you and give you a good hiding before they even consider what the reason was. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that's ever a good idea inside a police station. Athelstan. If you're assaulted by the police, if you believe that it's, and again, this is why it's really, it's really shaky ground, the whole thing, citizens arresting when it comes to the police. It's always going to be really shaky ground, and you've got to remember that they will gang up on you and they will lie about you and they will lie about the situation. Do you know what I mean? So if you're ever going to citizens arrest a copper, you need to make sure that there is evidence enough to prove the reason why you genuinely thought that you needed to do that. Otherwise, it's all going to fall around you. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to end up in shite. If you drink enough JD, then you might find them getting up to all sorts. Yeah, that's right, Gary. It's got to be an indictable offence, and it's got to be happening at the time, or you're preventing it from happening immediately, if that makes sense. But from my recollection, anyway. But you can't citizens arrest somebody for something that happened a week ago. That's my recollection at the moment. I might be slightly wrong, but I'm sure that that's how it is. Well, no, about a bounty hunter, they're looking for people that have committed an offence. Whereas, and again, I'm going to need to check this up properly, which I'm not doing at the moment. But a bounty hunter is looking for somebody who has broken the law already. Do you know what I mean? Whereas a citizen's arrest has to be somebody who is in the process of breaking the law, an indictable offence, or you're stopping them from committing an indictable offence. I heard that earlier, Kenny. I had a subscriber on YouTube sent me a link to "We Got a Problem Here's" video. I think it was "We Got a Problem Here." It might have been Alex Belfield. Officers declaring themselves as being police officers and taking action whilst drunk would face misconduct proceedings. If they get caught and they can't get away with it, they would, yeah. Otherwise it gets brushed under the carpets. There's another one, Bill. When I'm going to bring it up because it's bugging me. When we went to Leeds, a group of us went to Leeds. A group of us went to Leeds because somebody got kicked out of a council office there for wearing a hood. So a group of photographers went down to Leeds, and I went with them to try and get some answers. And while we was there, the police couldn't do anything because we'd broken no laws. So the police told the security to use, I think it was a Criminal Justice Act 1960 something. So I'm just going to have a look anyway. I can't remember off the top of my bloody head, so what date was that? 3rd of August. Okay, so just before August. That's the one, Section 3 Criminal Law Act, where they can assist a constable in the process of arresting somebody. Let me just double check the wording. That's the one, yeah. Use of force in making an arrest. A person may use such force as is reasonable in the circumstances in the prevention of crime or in effecting or assisting in the lawful arrest of offenders or suspected offenders or of a person unlawfully at large. And that replaces the rules on the common law on whether force should be used for a purpose mentioned in the subsection is justified by that purpose, right? So yeah, so that was an illegal use of that legislation because the police were there, which means if we were breaking the law, it is down to the police to do any arresting, not the security. Okay, the fact that security went hands-on and used force against us while the police were there was unlawful. The fact the police allowed them to go hands-on, in fact it was the police that told them to use Section 3, Criminal Law Act. It was the police that told them to use that. So the police broke the law there themselves. But yeah, tossers, aren't they? Excuse me. Is that your picture, Robert, that you sent me on WhatsApp? So seeing that picture, seeing you thinking back to that picture with the 50 cal in your hands, and then seeing this picture makes me worry. I don't think you should be allowed to handle that weapon. Juicy, I've been trying to find somebody that is going to print them cheaper. Okay, I've emailed a few people. I've been waiting for them to get back to me, and I've not heard from anybody yet. I would rather hold off putting up the newer designs that I've done. I would rather hold that off for a little bit to make sure that I can try and get a cheaper deal. Do you know what I mean? Because if I can make it cheaper for you guys, then that's got to be a good thing. You know what I mean? So. But I'll chase them up this week. If I don't get anywhere this week, I will put them up on Spreadshirt. That's what's on this week's t-shirt. You can do, Vic. Yeah, that'd be great if you can. Right. Well, I mean, I've tested these ones now. I know the print on these are brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I'm really pleased with these, and the material's nice as well. So, no, I'm not, Molly. I'm wearing a thong. That one you left here. Thank you, Vic. Proving Molly's not. She left her only pair of knickers here. Okay. Our man Roger here, who's bounding about in the comments, sent me a picture earlier. It's a picture of him with his massive weapon out. I don't know what else to say. I'm just wondering whether or not I should show you all Richard with his huge weapon in his hand. I mean, that's impressive, I've got to say. And it needs two hands to hold as well. Oh, they're all right. They're all right. So, who wants to see Roger with his weapon out? As I say, he needs two hands to hold it. Let's put it this way, he needs a tripod. He doesn't get called tripod, he needs a tripod. Come on, focus now, come on. Oh, for God's sake, stop looking at me and focus on that. There we go. Look at the size of that weapon. Ratty. Oh dear. That's a beauty, that is, I tell you. Cody Lackey, who's that? Molly, if you fired a gun like that, it'd break your shoulder. I'd be afraid to fire one like that. What does he use it for? Shooting rats. When they come to his door to to check his thinking. I keep looking, do you know what? I keep looking at this bloody phone now to see if I've got a notification to tell me I've got to self-isolate. Oh, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Where is it? I'll go and check him out. I mean, to be fair, it's not really the kind of thing. Sort of thinking about it, it's not the kind of thing that I think I'd be interested in. But I'll go and check it out. I'm more than happy to, to learn new things. Somebody might be doing something that really interests me, so I'll never know unless I look. So I will go and check that channel out at some point. it's not, Michael, it's not something that I would get into at 10 past 10 at night without having some notes and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because the last thing I want to do is give any incorrect information. If I don't know something, I'll always say I don't know, but I would rather do some more research before I give that before I have a chat about that kind of thing. Yes, there are some that they're blatantly breaching, but to go into detail, I would need to spend some time researching properly before I get into a conversation about that. Yeah, you could. Yeah, set yourself up in a nest on the White Cliffs of Dover. CS gas, I believe, is classed as a firearm. Um, Off the top of my head, I'm not sure whether pepper spray is as well or not. Uh, but it is classed as a firearm. Not entirely sure. I've never had to deal with an incident with that, so off the top of my head, I can't. I can't think. I have read it. I have read it before, but without going back and checking, I can't remember. You've played with air rifles and airsoft guns. Was it an air hard gun by the time you'd finished? Just out of curiosity. It's classed as a firearm, as far as I am aware. I believe it comes under the term of firearm. He was joking. I weren't joking. It's a genuine question. PC Little Ted told me to ask you. Yes, that's right. The new Ted hasn't got a name yet still. No, it's not a piece. This not a PCSO. Obviously, you got Sergeant Big Ted, you got PC Little Ted. This one is he is in the professional standards department. He's heard that PC Big Ted and PC Big Ted and Sergeant PC Little Ted and Sergeant Big Ted have been getting up to naughty things whilst on duty. So they had to call in professional standards. That's why sitting in between them is to stop them bumming each other, basically. Are you Ricky Leaks? Yeah, I'm feeling all right, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a unicorn. Off the top of my head, I don't deal with those kind of incidents generally, and I don't think I've ever dealt with one since I've been running this channel. So normally, if somebody had asked me that, like in a comment on Facebook or in a comment rather than a live stream, then I'd have just done some research on it. But I haven't had the time because I just got asked. That's why I said all I know is that it is classed as a firearm. It comes under the term of or umbrella of firearm. But anything other than that, I don't know about. Or I can't remember off the top of my head. What was you expecting, Sam? Athelstan, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I do. It's. I mean, I never started this channel with the expectation of people asking me for help where I can. Um, that was never. It was never even in my mind. But I do get a lot of questions. Some of them I can't help with beyond my scope. Some of them I will try and help. Um, but yeah, sometimes I have to tell people that it's not something that I can help with. But I'll give them information of people that I think can help, whether it be a brief or somebody else that I know has dealt with a situation. You sent a rude email to your ex-wife, and you got cells. You got put in a cells for what was that for? Harassment or well, it wouldn't be malicious communications. I wouldn't have thought so. It must have been for harassment or something. I would have thought. No, scooters will remain illegal unless, this is my opinion, they'll remain illegal unless you are a company renting them out. And the reason for that is because the company renting them out goes like that. There you go, council, have some money. And the council goes, yes, a sweet bonus in the Christmas party, lovely jubbly. Do you know what I mean? Whereas they don't get nothing from us. So I don't believe that the scooters will be made legal unless you're hiring them. But obviously e-bikes are legal, aren't they? Which they actually shouldn't be. Do you know what I feel, Stan? It's that trying to remember the number, isn't it? I think while you're standing there, who is it I call? Can't remember the phone number. Ambulance. No, can't remember the phone number. Yeah, but Roger, my very first moped was limited. Wasn't for long, but it was limited. Yeah, but who is it you'd help though, Molly? If someone's life's in danger, who would you help? The person causing the danger or the person in danger? I don't know, Gary, to be honest. I mean, they're saying that these in order, you're not allowed, under law, you're not allowed to ride them on the pavement, okay? A motorised carriage of any kind cannot be ridden on the pavement. Which means if you want to ride it in a road, it's got to have a licence plate. It's got to have tax, it's got to have MOT, it's got to have insurance, and you're supposed to have a licence. So how are they going to work that out? How are they going to deal with that? I don't know. And that's where I think this backhander comes in. Because it's a vehicle, Ricky, it's classed as a vehicle, because you can travel on it, you see. So they class it as a motorised, sorry, it's classed as a motorised carriage. I think that's the words in the legislation. Oh, hello, King. Hello, Alice. Morris is the name of the other teddy bear from... You alright, Alice? What happened? Daisy, get out of the way a minute. What happened? You alright? Sorry, Alice just screeched in the other room. Yeah, I think she's probably scratched herself a bit too hard. Get out from under there, please. Thank you. Who said you got to take responsibility for your actions about auditing? I've been looking for a pig police teddy bear, but I don't think anyone's making them anymore because it might hurt their feelings. Yeah, and in e-bike, Gary, is what we're talking about is the e-bikes. Now, as somebody else just mentioned, the reason e-bikes can get away with it, which I didn't think about initially, was the fact that they've got pedals on. They've got the pedal assisted. They're not just motorised. But then thinking about it, scooters aren't just motorised either, because you can do it by foot, can't you? Do you know what I mean? So, for how many years were scooters foot power? Fred Flintstone job. What's going on? What's Sam have to say? Boring as per usual. Tell you what, Sam, fuck off then. There you go. I don't say that very often, but you've just earned it. If you don't like what's being said, fuck off to another channel. I haven't, and I was waiting for Active Patriot to get back to me as well. I think he's been a bit busy today. Do you know what? You lot know me, right? If somebody's got an opinion to share, then we'll discuss it. If somebody just wants to come in and go, shit, this is shit, you're shit, that's shit, you know, don't fucking watch it then. It's not difficult, is it? Get a life. They stopped dead. Ah. Oh, sorry, that might have been a bit loud for you. Oh, it's a mango one. Well, I thought that smelled different. Oh, Trump. Good man. Was Elvis in here as well, was he? I must have missed that. Hello, Winston. Oh, I know, Scott. It's madness. How on earth do you get mango in a tin? It's the sorcery is amazing. 16 minutes on a scooter for 32 quid. Serious? You're joking. You'll have me on, aren't you? Hello, Debbie. What was your last comment? What was your last comment, Joe Black? I can't see it, and I'm scrolling up. Can you just type it again or something? Because I can't be bothered to go too far back. Really? That much? That is ridiculous. Humpty Dumpty. I've been called many things, but not Humpty Dumpty. Break your neck. Do you know what, actually? I read a story earlier. In fact, I read the story yesterday. Ash, a bloke in America, got arrested. The police broke his neck. Okay, the police broke his neck, took him to the police station to get him photographed, and they had to hold his head up because his neck was broken. He was still alive, but he had a broken neck, and they had to hold his head up so they could get photos of him. Okay, and you got the front photo, and then you've got the side photo, and at the side photo you can see where his neck was broken at the back. Absolutely horrifying. Unbelievable. And then he died like a month later. I couldn't believe it. Did you say bagpuss, Graham? I've already got bagpuss. Hello. Okay, well, I'm a criminal as well, just for the record. I mean, I don't know what is done. If it, as long as it's nothing to do with children, and as long as he doesn't do anything to me or the people that I care about, then, we've all made mistakes, haven't we? So, yo, AB, how you doing, man? The creator, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I get an awful lot of emails. Some people don't. They tell me their name in the email, but they don't tell me what their username is, so I don't know who's who. Um, some of the emails I get round to responding to, some take me a while to get round to, so I'm not 100% sure. It was a bit of fun, AB. Do you know what I mean? I spend most of my time indoors, so um, the fact if he'd have told me he was coming a few days before, I probably wouldn't have been able to go. But the fact it was a last minute thing, I didn't have time to get anxious about going out, so I went out, had a bit of fun, and you deal with the consequences later. Um, NXMZMX. As I said, if somebody does something that they're not proud of, then that's down to them, right? If it doesn't affect me or the people that I care about, and as long as it's nothing to do with children, then we've all made mistakes. Do you know what I mean? I grew weed. You know what I mean? So we've all done things that we're not proud of. It's about, for me, it's about owning it. Do you know what I mean? If you made a mistake, right, and you own it, put your hands up, make a change. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to be honest, coming on here and saying that is not going to make a blind bit of difference. Here, AB, are you still following up on your arrest? Sorry, not your. Well, yeah, your detention, your stop and search. Well, that bully thought he was hard with his tattooed muscle arms, putting his mask on, going, "Oh, I ain't got to give you my details." Not bad. Are you still following up on that? Well, if he continues to be a criminal, that's down to him. As I say, some people, and I'm not sticking up for him. If he's doing stuff he shouldn't be doing, then he shouldn't be doing it. At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? My view is, if you do something wrong, yeah, if you break the law, you've got to pay the price for it. At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? However, sometimes there are circumstances that means you have to break the law. Do you know what I mean? For example, if you're trying to feed your kid and you've got to steal some food for them, do you know what I mean? But as I say, for the third time, if it doesn't affect me or the people that I care about, including my friends, and it's got nothing to do with children, okay, like the people that we report on this channel, then providing I don't get involved in it, I don't care. You not think that auditors are all past criminals? I think probably just about everybody on this chat has done something in the past where they've broken the law in one way or another. What does that mean? It means nothing. Molly grew weed, and then she discovered waxing. I'm sorry. In fact, I'm not funny. I'm not funny. I mean, I'm not so Freudian slip. I mean, I'm not sorry. Why does it mean that? Why does it mean that it's not done for human rights but to push boundaries? Maybe our boundaries have been getting tighter and tighter and smaller, when in fact our boundaries should be like they used to be. Maybe that's why people are pushing boundaries. Doesn't mean that they're breaking the law in what they're doing. Just because somebody might have broke the law in the past, it does not mean that they're breaking the law by auditing. I've got a video on my channel of somebody doing an audit. Well, it's not an audit. That's a lie. It wasn't an audit. It's because you've mentioned audit. Now I'm thinking about it. I've got a video on my channel of a guy who filmed outside of a school. He was there to pick his child up, and he was filming outside of the school. The head teacher came over and started kicking off at him. Okay. Then she got the police to come and have a go at him as well. Okay. But there was nothing they could do because he wasn't breaking the law. Strange that, isn't it? How just because you might be outside of school, unless you're taking indecent images, then you're not breaking the law. So what's your point? Ah, right. Sweet. Thanks, Fantasia Builds. I did miss that. What perception? The perception is different because people are living in a society now where they are being told to be scared of everything, and they're being told to be scared of everything so that people's rights can be eroded. Wrong on what one? What am I wrong on? Hello, Ant. How you doing? Sorry, I did see you say hello a few minutes ago. I was in the middle of a sentence, and then I forgot to say hello afterwards, so my apologies, but I did clock your first message to say hello. There's nothing wrong with questioning people. That's not what I've said. There's absolutely nothing wrong with saying to somebody, what are you doing? Nothing wrong with it at all. Nobody ever said there was. It's the behaviour of the people asking. People need to stop thinking that everybody is out to get them, because they're not. Yes, there's some horrible people in this world, and we do need to be careful. So if you see somebody with a camera and that camera is constantly focusing on your kids, you're rightly going to be concerned. But nobody is saying that that's okay to do. Okay? But what is okay to do is film what you can see, providing it's not inappropriate. Anything you can see from a public place. Hey Sue, I'm sorry to hear that, but I know how you feel, trust me. I don't know if you've ever seen any of my past videos, but mate, I feel for you, because I know exactly what that's like, especially at the moment. How you doing, Danny from Corfu? You on holiday, or you live out there, mate? Or just make sure, if you do feel down, make sure you reach out and talk to someone. I know it's not easy, man. I know it's not easy. But don't let this get you down, man. Not good. Constant Limbo, how you doing? My apologies. Hiya, Rose. Thank you very much. No, huge arsehole. I have no intention of doing so. Although, for those of you who have joined and haven't been watching from the beginning of this fourth attempt, I have downloaded the NHS COVID-19 app onto this phone. Now, before you all start having a go at me, this is my spare phone. This one does not leave the property. It stays here at least 2 meters away from anybody else, and it will stay here. It will not go anywhere. I do not have the app on my phone that I take out with me, so this is here to see whether or not it flags me for not being anywhere near anybody. Okay, so it's a test that I'm conducting with this. They don't need to triangulate me. They all know where I live anyway. I don't hide it. Yes, I did hear about the Coventry copper. I did. I've reported on that. Oh, Lucifer. I downloaded, but there was an error. I forgot to get back to you and tell you. I downloaded the file and it said it couldn't open it because it was corrupted. So whether you're trying to infect my computer with something, I don't know. But you're going to need to send it again, mate. The reason Potter was treated the way he was is because they took advantage of the fact that he has, was it Asperger's, I think he's got, and they took advantage of that. Potter got locked up for a little while. And he ended up with like a ASBO or something as well. Who's editing your video? I've not edited any videos of yours. Well, NXM, whatever you're calling yourself there, of course, I can't even pronounce that. As I say, the problem is that Potter got taken advantage of, okay? The difference now is that there's a lot more people that are standing up for their rights. Whether you agree with those rights or not makes no difference. They are rights that they have, and providing they don't break the law, then, especially now with so many people that are aware of it, then if the police turned around and tried to do that to somebody else, there would be a backlash over it. Whereas before, when Potter was doing it, there wasn't. Lucifer, I've not taken anything out, mate. Nothing at all, and I've still got your original files on the computer. I've not touched a thing. Auditing, they are exercising their rights to do stuff. That's what it is. So clearly you agree with some rights, but you don't agree with others. And that's, how can you live like that? How could you agree with some rights and not agree with others? And it doesn't matter whether they're doing it for a reaction or not. What they're actually doing it for is to not get a reaction. Because at that point, then we know that people are respecting those rights. As I've said, there's nothing wrong with somebody coming up to you and saying, can I ask what you're doing? Okay? If somebody's just standing there with a camera taking pictures of stuff, then there's nothing anybody can do about it. And clearly, just because you're one of these people that just because you don't agree with something, you think it shouldn't be allowed. I'd applaud that, Angela, but the kid's trying to get to sleep upstairs and I don't want to wake her up, so I'll do it quietly. Look, hey Sue, I've said this about CCTV before. The thing with CCTV is you're being watched by somebody who's sitting in a darkened room, probably on their own. You could be walking down the streets with your kids. How do you know what they're doing? And I know that's a horrible thing to think about, but you've got no idea what somebody sitting on the other side of those CCTV monitors is doing. Do you know what I mean? Whereas somebody in the street who's taking photos of gates or architecture or whatever it might be, scenery, you can see what they're doing and you can speak to them. And as long as you speak to them respectfully, then you're likely to get a respectful response. What isn't normal is going to a police station and filming for a reaction. Is it normal to go and play practical jokes on somebody and filming it to see their reaction? Is it normal for people, and I'll use this as an example, like Disco Boy, to go into a supermarket with a loudspeaker and start dancing around in a pair of pink shorts that everybody seems to laugh at? No, it's not, but they do it. So what's the point? What's your point? Oh, Graham, sorry, mate, I just missed that comment. Take it easy, and I'll no doubt speak to you at some point tomorrow. Disco Boy does it for a laugh. Have you seen my video on Disco Boy? Does it look like he's doing it for a laugh when people wig out over it because he's upset them? It's causing alarm, harassment and distress. That's a crime. But that's okay. Is that what you're saying? It's okay for somebody to cause alarm, harassment and distress, to go into supermarkets, cause criminal damage by jumping on the tills, push people to get them, assaulting people as well. It's ultimately what it was, common assault. That's okay because he's doing it for a laugh. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Fuck off. Get out of here. Welsh Dragon, how are you? So you're a cop then? So you're police? Is that it? Are you old Bill? He's not being evasive. Auditors are. No. Auditors, again, are holding on to their rights, not to have to give their details. Most auditors are happy to explain what they're doing. Okay? Maybe they over-exaggerate a little bit by saying they're doing a documentary. Okay? Maybe not. However, they have the right not to give their details. That is not being evasive. That is the law. That is the legislation that is there to protect them. So because they're protecting themselves with legislation, you're trying to say that it's wrong. What? You're an idiot. Take it easy, Fergus. Whether it's normal or not doesn't make a difference. Is it against the law? That's the issue here. Is it illegal? No, it's not. Anything else is irrelevant. You're right. I think there's too many E numbers in this Fanta. Section 43 seems it is. What do you mean Section 43 seems what is? Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, is that what you mean? Oh, that must be why every photographer that's been stopped under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act has been sentenced. Stop being a tit. My God. Section 43 is being abused. And if you're going to sit there sucking cops off, right, and saying that it must be illegal because the police are using Section 43, then you're a knobhead, because not one person has been charged under Section 43, okay, for doing auditing or taking photographs in public. How you doing, Gary? No, Ant, I've not, mate, no. Not that I know of. Fantasia builds. There may be something that's been put in, but I don't. You see, the thing is, people. It's like Section 44. Everybody highlighted when they was abused under Section 44. And the more you highlight an abuse of something, the more chance you've got of the right people picking up on it. Section 43 is used because it's the only one that they can use, okay, without having any evidence of something. That's why they use it. The same as Section 50 of the Police Reform Act. It needs no evidence for them to abuse it. Good night, Fergus. Thanks for jumping on. AB, when you're exercising your rights, it's not being evasive. It's nothing to do with being evasive when you're exercising your rights. Okay? It's in legislation. It's on the police websites. Okay? When the police come up to you because you're taking photos, that is a stop and account. Okay? It's a stop and account. What you're doing, who are you, where you're going, where you've been. That is the very definition of a stop and account. Okay, now stop and accounts is one of the things that I've added to the information that I am selling at the moment. A stop and account, you have the right to walk away and not say a single word to the police. Okay? You have the right to walk away and not say anything to the police under a stop and account. Okay? Unless, there's a caveat, and that is unless there is reasonable belief that you have or are causing a public order offence, alarm, harassment and distress. Okay? Which is when they bring in Section 50 of the Police Reform Act. So bringing up Section 44 of the Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, even though they've spent 20 minutes with you already, is clearly a last-ditch attempt to cause you inconvenience. It is definitely not because they think you're a terrorist. Otherwise, they wouldn't be standing there talking to you for 20 fucking minutes before they pull that one out of the bag. So stop being a dick. All right, Lucifer, no worries. I'll bring it up now, mate, and see if I can download it. Well, don't be evasive. Well, how about you don't be a dick? There's a difference between being evasive and implementing the very rights that you're given in law. There's a big difference. No, it's failed again. Lucifer, it's failed again, mate. I don't know what's going on with it. It says there's 2 files. Can you try sending one at a time? And I'll see if it's one or the other. And recording a police station for no valid reason isn't being a dick. If somebody wants to record a police station, there's no law stopping them. The same as there's no law stopping you from being a dick. Doesn't mean I can't tell you you're being a dick, though, does it? But I can't stop you from it. Exactly the same as auditors or photographers. You might not like what they're doing, but guess what? Tough shit. Definitely a cop on overtime. Why are you going on about section 43 again? Do you know what? Fuck off. You're being an idiot. An absolute tit, and I am done. And it's very rare I do this to anybody. But you can fuck off. Well. It's not very often I do that. In fact, I think I've only ever done that 3 or 4 times since I have been doing live streams. But again, I've got nothing wrong with people sharing their opinion, as you know, right? I will always give people the opportunity to share their opinion, to put their opinion across. But when somebody is being argumentative, when somebody is purposely trying to be a prick, we don't need that. So, see you later. Go and get donuts for your colleagues. So there we go. That's that's how we deal with troublemakers. Oh, I don't know, Winston. So as I say, right, I mean, look, there's people in this room tonight, okay, that you might not have been around that long, but there are people in this room that have been following this channel from the beginning, ever since I started doing live streams, and you know what I'm like. I will allow anybody to say what they've got to say. The only time that I kick anybody, personally, is number one, if they're inciting any kind of crime, because I don't want this channel shut down. So if they're inciting crime, they can do one. And number two, if it is if they're targeting somebody, okay, so harassment, if you like, if they continue to argue with somebody where it's not sharing opinions and discussing, it's just calling people out and saying, no, you're talking shit, and they just continue to do that, bang, 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 bang. And after a while, you've just got to knock it on the head. You know what I mean? it's failing again, Lucifer. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on here. Let me try it in another browser. Give me a second. Sorry folks, I can't see all your messages. I just saw somebody do. Thank you, Vix. Oh, you didn't need to do that. Hello, Carol. Welcome. No, that one's failed as well. Let me try this second one. Oh yeah, Ian, how you doing, mate? Hey Sue, yeah, I'm still here. Good night, Gaza. Thanks for jumping on. Never, Blue Nose Rob, never. And that's what my point is about Section 43. It's not used because they genuinely think that somebody is a terrorist. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend 20 minutes talking to them before they use it. Where would I like to go on holiday? I'd like to go back to Ayia Napa. I'd like to go back to Cyprus. Lucifer, upload it to YouTube, leave it as private, and you can give me, you can put my email address in. It says that you can give the, you can give people access, or do it as unlisted and send me the link. That second one I've got. Second one's come through. So the Pat Reports Bad Bits, that one has succeeded in downloading, but 05 Pat Reports failed. Umbrella News, how come I rang you the other week? Did I? Have the police ever raided my house? Yes, once. Do you know what? That would be awesome, Danny. That would be absolutely wicked, man. The YouTube pillow from Amazon. Oh, well, I don't know anything about that umbrella news. I've no idea about that, mate. Are you sure it was me that phoned you? Did it sound like me? How you doing, Channing? No, Jamie, I've mentioned this plenty of times. I I was in a bad place at the time. I had um, I had I was in a bad place. My depression was really bad at that point. And somebody asked me if they could use my spare room to grow some weed in. I said no initially for about 4 months. In the end, I got worn down, and I agreed. So I let them. Uh, One day, I sort of thought I was sitting in my front room one day, and I just thought to myself, do you know what? This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to be doing this. Um, the guy phoned me up. Sorry, he texted me, and he said that somebody was going to be moving in with me, and I said no, they're not. And he said, yeah, they are. And I went, no, they're not. I said, what does somebody want to move in with me for? So he turned around and said, well, unless you're going to kill somebody if they come through your front door to protect what he had in my spare room, then he's going to have somebody move in with me that will do it. And I said, no, you're not. So he then came round, and he threatened to kill me, pulled a knife out on me and threatened to stab me. So at which point I was in such a shit place, I just said to him, well, go on then, do it. Do you know what I mean? Fuck, I don't care, do it. Just fucking don't care anymore. He didn't, obviously. I went to bed that night. I woke up in the morning, and when I woke up, he was taking some of his stuff out, dismantling the room, so to speak. Then in the evening, no, this is where I lived somewhere else. In the evening, that same night, he, or I say he, the police turned up. Knocked on the door. I looked out the front room window and I saw there was police out there, so I let them in. And they said they were there with a search warrant for drugs, and I said, yeah, upstairs, first room on the right. And that was it, really. They went up there, saw what was there, and I got nicked for it. I was in the cells from Friday night till Monday. Got taken to court. Judge turned around, and magistrate's court. Judge turned around and said, can't deal with it here, it's got to go to Crown Court. So ended up going to Crown Court, and eventually I got found guilty of cultivation. They tried to do me for being like some kingpin. They failed to look at evidence. The judge, I've got to say, was actually really good. The judge was absolutely spot on, because he ripped the CPS a new arsehole because they failed to look at evidence. And then when I went back and got sentenced, I ended up with a 2-year sentence, suspended for 18 months. And this is something I talk about quite a lot in my PAP reports. Some of the people in the comments now will verify that. You see, when I see paedophiles get 8 months in prison, or suspended, or they just get community orders or something like that, and which I think is absolutely disgusting. And I think to myself, well, hang on a minute, I got 2 years suspended for 18 months. I got put on tag, I got a fine, and I had to go to probation for a year. And yet there's people out there that do stuff with kids and they get much less sentences than I got. And all I done was allowed somebody to grow some weed in my spare room. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't tell you how many plants there were, but they did say it was close to 100 grand's worth. If the plants would have yielded about 100 grand's worth. Yeah, well, do you know what, Hey Sue? I put my hands up. Do you know what I mean? I made a mistake. Yeah, I know that I go on about people using mental health as an excuse, but a lot of people use mental health use it as an excuse. I didn't use it as an excuse. It wasn't an excuse because I shouldn't have done it in the first place. Do you know what I mean? But I was. I was under help at the time and on lots of medication, rather than just turning around and saying, oh, I felt a bit down in the dumps. It wasn't that. I had a severe documented depression. So, but as I said it earlier today as well, earlier in this live stream, if you do something wrong, you pay the price. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? Break the law, deal with it. Are you off, Athelstan? Yeah, Scott, you're right. You're right. It does. You're right. Absolutely. What pisses me off is that some people they use it in the hope that it will get them off. There are people that genuinely are in a bad place. But then you get the police, for example. Nearly every single time the police turn around, the police get done for something, there's a relationship issue. Do you know what I mean? Or PTSD. No worry, Athelstan, you look after yourself. Yo, Fox 8 Ball, how you doing? Oh, sorry, did I miss? What did I miss there? Let me scroll back. Fantasia Builds, thank you so much. I'm sorry I didn't see that pop up as I was talking. I was on a bit of a rant then, wasn't I? So my apologies. Edward, am I a police officer? Are you asking me? Am I? Why would you ask if I'm a police officer? Do I look like one? I'm too fat to... No, actually, I can't use that anymore, can I? Thank you, James. Am I an antisocial worker? No. They wouldn't let me in the police anyway because I've got that on my hand. You see, if I had them, up to my wrists, that'd be different. But I've got a tattoo on my hand, so I wouldn't be able to be in the police anyway. Smell like bacon. Yeah, it's not a stab vest, it's a flab vest. Right, I've got to go for a squirt, so I'll be back in a sec. And we're back. What have I missed? Anybody been slagging me off? Lucifer, by the way, I will download that when I finish this because I don't want to use up the bandwidth of downloading that from YouTube. But I will grab that video tonight. Yeah. Just trying to catch up on, see if there's any messages that I can see quickly that need a response. Well, there is quite a few videos on there, Lucifer. Can't deny that. Oh right, okay, Edward, no worries. Well, if you want to, I mean, some of the first videos I put out should prove that I'm not old Bill. And I certainly haven't joined them since then, that's for sure. Especially seeing as I'm on here every day. This one, Stuart. That one. Hiya, Lucy. These ones you can get on the Spreadshirt store. That's where I got my one from, the Spreadshirt store. Lucifer, I don't mind. I don't mind. At the end of the day, if we can't laugh at ourselves, then we're going to live very stressful and depressing lives. More so than we already do. Hiya, Casey. Yeah, I unfortunately at the moment I can't do anything about that. It's bloody YouTube, isn't it? Playing silly buggers. Inciting police hate. Well, I certainly don't incite police hate. If I'm inciting police hate, then every newspaper in this country is inciting police hate. Stuart, when you go on to the channel, in fact, let me show you, because there's a few people that have asked. So let me, I'll show you on here. Was it? No, it wasn't that one. It was over on this one. Right. Can you still hear me? You should be able to. When you go onto the page, look for get the customize tab. Okay, you click the customize tab, and over on the left here, even if you're doing it, you can still do this on mobile device, by the way. Come over to the products, and you've got your categories here. So you can go to accessories, and there's the pillows. Pick a pillow, check all the details, select it, designs, and then you can pick one of the designs to go on there. It's a Corona pillow. So just go to the customize tab and you'll be able to sort it. Hope that helps. It's easier than trying to explain it. They won't let me, Molly. I'm not allowed. Not allowed to put faces of people on there. If I can find a new provider that doesn't follow those rules, then I'll be able to. In fact, I was looking. Yeah, actually, Holly, have a word with your mate. I need a little. What's it called? Like a emoji, a pap emoji, a bit like what she drew for you. Was it you? I'm sure it was you. Yeah, it was you. The coronavirus is, well, it's a it's a pain in the arse. That's for sure. It's not local bacon. No, it's printed. Yeah, I'll have to see where Active's getting his printed done. Oh, no way, Molly. Oh, damn. Okay, no, that's cool. Cool. Totally understand. Totally understand. Yeah, see, some places will let you do like a photo, for example, of a face. You know, like what's it called? I've got some apps on my phone that allow me to print photos that I've got on pillows and stuff. But it's different. It's different kind of thing. Because you're sending them your actual photos, whereas on here this isn't about photo. This could be anybody's design. Do you know what I mean? You could just be. It's to stop people from slagging other people off, really. Because I made a T-shirt with PC Savage on. I don't know if anybody remembers PC Savage. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! And they wouldn't even touch that one. Is Molly a breeder? Isn't that a term used on X-Hamster for one of the categories? It hurt. This bit hurt the most. This wasn't so bad, to be fair, but that hurt like a biatch. I had a lot of time on my hands before I started this channel, Cop Watch. To be honest, I'll tell you what, Stuart. I mean, obviously, right there, I've got you can see where the light hits it. Right there's a bone, and the tattoo goes right across it. That actually hurt less than that. A DS has asked to meet you for a chat after a final report from Safeguarding Adult Review where they have admitted failures. Should I be concerned? If they've admitted failures in a Safeguarding review, then I would imagine that it would, and again I don't know for sure, but I would imagine it is their way of trying to butter you up. So if they've done something that they shouldn't have done, or didn't do something that they should have done, and they could be liable for it, it is probably an arse-licking session to butter you up. We are so sorry. We'll learn from our mistakes. Please don't sue us. That's what I imagine that would be. That's what it sounds like to me. But again, I could be wrong. But if they've had a final report from safeguarding where they have admitted failures, I would imagine that this isn't their attempt to get you not to take any action. Good night, Psychos Missus. Thank you for jumping on. Much appreciated. Good night, under a blood red sky. Good night, Jonathan. I think I'm going to have to wrap this up shortly anyway. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Angela. I would imagine, as I say, if that's the case, and excuse me, I don't really know what to say after that. But if they were found to have failed, then, as I say, I would imagine that it is a please don't follow this through meeting. But as DJ Vic said, take someone with you. Even if it's just a friend, take somebody with you so you have a witness to what's being said, because they won't let you record it. Okay, they go, oh no, we're not going to talk if you're going to record it, so make sure you've got somebody with you. And I would suggest just let them talk. They'll try and engage you in conversation, and they'll try and sway you into saying, like when, it's like a sales pitch, and it'll be things like, oh yeah, but I mean, you understand where we're coming from, don't you? Yeah. And you'll go, yeah, I understand. And then they'll use that against you. So I would suggest just staying quiet. Just a suggestion, but go, take somebody with you, stay completely quiet, let them say what they've got to say, walk out, don't give them anything. Ash, you look after yourself, mate. Speak to your solicitor. Give your solicitor a ring first thing in the morning, Angela, and let them know. Just say, look, been asked to go in and chat and see what your brief says. If you've already got a brief, it's best to get their opinion on it to see whether or not it will affect anything that's being done. But yeah, seeing as you've said you've got a brief already, my advice would be to definitely speak to them before you even go and see what they've got to say. Look, what we're looking at. Who, Spice Girl, who said what to you? I see you talking with I'm lost under the bed. Has somebody upset you? Good night, Jerry. Take it easy. Thank you for jumping on. Hello, Lindsay. I didn't see you there. Sorry. Good night. Sleep well. See you next time. Stuart, I'm looking at those tattoos now, mate. Yeah, Spice Girl's in here. Who is Spice Girl? Oh, I've not been anywhere. It's not tanned. It's just the filter on the light. Oh no, I think she just said she got called it on somebody else's live stream a bit earlier. How big are those, Stuart? It's hard to tell on the one with the swords. It's hard to tell how big that is. Is that on the top of your arm here? Is it? So these are Stuart's tattoos. It's There's one. Spice Girl is the posh one. I've met the Spice Girls. I actually met them. Used to work in a hotel many years ago, and they came in for well, they were staying at the hotel, and Jerry Spice was at the reception one evening, and it was a Saturday night. I was staying over in the hotel because I was doing breakfast on the Sunday, and there was a waiter called David, ginger-haired lad, and she was like winding him up at the desk, and he didn't know what to do. Going, don't I know you from somewhere? And he's like, no, I don't think so. And she's like, oh, she goes, I'm sure I've slept with you. And he was like, what do I do? What do I say? That's the other tattoo. That's Stuart's other one. Focus. Come on, focus. Come on. Oh, it's not focusing properly. There we go. What do you do if you ever come across a Spice Girl? Apologise and wipe it off. Bra-bum. 11 days without a cig. Fair play, man. Fair play, Scott. I couldn't do that. I've tried. Unicorn, whatever colours are available, you should be able to choose from. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's only doing it in white. They haven't got another colour. Sorry, that's the only colour they do. I tell you, when I had to go in hospital, Lucifer, when I was in my early 20s, I had my appendix burst. But they'd been leaking for several days, so I had all this poison running around in my body, so I wouldn't heal up properly. So I was in hospital for freaking ages without a cigarette or nothing, and I didn't care. It didn't bother me at all. And then the first day I was able to get up, I've got up with me dripping, and I've wheeled me pole with me bag on it, like my drip, wheeled it out, gone in the lift, gone downstairs, went outside, I rolled a cigarette, I had about 3 puffs on it, and the next thing I knew, I'm being wheeled back to the to the ward in a wheelchair. Yeah, do you know what, Ian? Absolutely. I think you have to have a reason. There has to be a reason strong enough to make you quit. Now, I stopped drinking in my early 20s, because I nearly got locked up for fighting because I'd been drinking. And if I'd have got locked up, I wouldn't have seen my son be born. and I nearly got locked up for 18 months at that point. And it was enough, that was enough for me to knock drink on the head. And I knocked it on the head for years. I only started drinking again when I moved up here, really. But that was my reason, do you know what I mean? It was too much of a risk, and I think it's the same, as you say, it's the same with smoking. It's got to be the right time for you, and you've got to have the right motivation to give up. Just saying I'm going to give up is, I don't think, enough. There has to be a real motivation to give up. I've got a vape. I know you wouldn't believe it anymore, but I do have a vape and I use that quite a lot. I try and use it when I go out, and I sort of smoke when I'm in. Yes, Roger, that's exactly why I had to stop. Take it easy, Spice Girl. Thanks for jumping on. Right. I'm going to have to wrap this up, folks. We've got a couple of extras that want to get on camera. Stop, don't, you're making too much noise with your tail. Stop wagging. Say hello to everyone. Say hello. No. Oh, for God's sake, you've got to make so much noise. No, move. Get out of there. Blood noise and sauce. Hello. Hello. Whoa, Alice. All right. Hello, hello. Hello. Oh, hello, Daisy. Hello, Daisy. Oh, God. Ow, ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ow. You're hurting. You're hurting me. I've not had it yet, Trump. It's still in. I put it in the freezer because if I put it in the fridge, it would have melted a bit. So I've stuck it in the freezer. So I'll take it out in a minute. No worries, Jamie. Thanks for jumping on, mate. Appreciate it. Your Neo fancies her. Don't sit there looking at me. Do you know what I'm going to do? What I'll do in the next live is I'll get the dog cam back on. Check Unicorn's comment. Where's Unicorn's comment? What percentage does a site take from sales? No, I won't get the full amount. In fact, I don't earn a great deal from it, to be fair. I can't remember what the percentages are now. me see if I can find an answer. Good night, Ian. Take it easy. Good night, I'm lost under the bed. I know it's a pain in the arse. I'll tell you what, Unicorn. If you want to email me, if you want to write down what it is that you want to buy, if you email me, I'll get back to you by tomorrow. And I'll tell you, seeing as you've asked, I'll tell you what I'll earn from it, okay? I'm not one to hide anything from anybody. If people ask me a question and I can answer it, I'll answer it. Do you know what I mean? But if you email me and let me know what it is that you want, it doesn't matter what design. So just tell me what item that you want, and we'll have a discussion. Mellows, email me. pleaseabusingpowers@gmail.com. No worries, Unicorn. As I say, I will get back to you by tomorrow. It might be by tomorrow night, but I'll definitely get back to you tomorrow. Um, 1368, I think that comes to President Trump. What benefits do you claim as a member of the auditing community? What do you mean by that, Elvis? I don't understand. My breathing's fact because I've got health issues. It's a done deal, President Trump. Just let me know it's you when you make your payment. Lucifer, do not agree to a hug and a bum squeeze, because what she means by a bum squeeze is actually squeezing you in between her bum cheeks. No, I still don't understand what you're saying. No, I'm trying to think what you're trying to say, Elvis, but I can't work it out, mate. So why can't you use the cards, Double D? Where are you? Thank you, Tom. Are you in Scotland? Okay. I have been asked by a couple of other people about doing some Scottish ones. Some of what's on there is the same as in Scotland, but I do know that you don't have the same Section 50 Police Reform Act that's used down here. So I need to find some time to work out what parts of the legislation that I can put on the cards to make it useful for you. But the problem is, as I've said to a couple of people, is there's two issues. Number one is finding the time to do that, and the second one is because I have to buy a bulk amount of cards. So it means having to buy a bulk amount of the ones that I do here and a bulk amount of the ones for Scotland. And at the moment, I simply don't have that many people from Scotland asking. And as much as I'd like to be able to help everyone, it just makes it a bit difficult at the moment. But hopefully, one day, I'll have some assistance. I might have a beautiful young assistant who can help me with researching and things like that. But yeah, it's a shame, and I wish I could do something about it at the moment. Are you moving house, Jay? Very nice. Yeah, I probably should have known Double D, but I didn't. My apologies. I've got a wicked Scottish accent. I can do a really good Scottish accent. British Patriot, how you doing? Oh, so not too far then, mate. Oh, that's handy. You don't want to be moving like missions. I might be moving next month, but we'll have to wait and see. What, you want me to do my Scottish accent? Shouldn't have said anything. All right. I'm dead sexy. Look at my sexy body. Hopefully, I applied to a property that I found the other day, well, a week or so ago, and I had an email back saying that it had gone, but the landlord emailed me and said to me, "I've got an identical property 2 doors down." But it's being refurbished. He said it will be ready. He said 2 months, and that was before this month, so it was in September. So hopefully in November, he'll email me and say, right, it's done. Do you want it? And if he does, then I'm gone. Not gone, but I'm gone from here back down there. Hey, wee man, get in my belly. I'm dead sexy. Look at my sexy body. So, who knows where that's from? Well, Lucifer is one of them things. I mean, most of this stuff I can take with me anyway. It's only the paint on the walls, really, that I'd have to leave. Everything else can come with me. So, the carpet tiles, they can come with me. So, it's not a biggie. Yes, oh my titties. Oh, stop it, Dan. You're making a tit of yourself. Anyway. Yes, Double D. He actually said in the email that pets are allowed, which is a result. That's what I've been looking for. So I can't let it go, really. If I get the chance to take it, I'll have to take it. Or I'm not getting my bagpipes out on camera. I'll definitely get my channel shut down. Old age. Right, anyway, folks, it's 12:10. Which means it's way after watershed. Let's get this party started. No, I'm only joking. No, I need to knock this on the head now. I've got to sort the dogs out. They've got to go out and all the rest of it, and I need to have a rest from the screens for a little while before I get into bed. Constant Limbo from Scotland. Good night, mate. I hope I didn't offend you with my terrible accent. Thank you, Vic. Yeah. Hopefully, because I emailed him and I said to him, to the landlord, as soon as it's done, or when it's nearly done, can you email me some pictures? I said I've got family down there. They'll go and check it out for me. If it's all good, I'm ready to move. Do you know what I mean? I'll give you cash. Let's get it done. So, so hopefully he'll get back to me with that, and I'll have a result. Back in Essex, Lucifer. Good night, Welsh Dragon. Constant limbo. I apologise for the bleeding ears. Thankfully, I don't make a fool of myself too often. That's a lie. You'll try and tag me in what, Holly? Oh no. I'm glad to hear it, Constant Limbo. The whole of Scotland says don't do it again, or they'll be writing petitions to have me shut down. Oh dear. No, Lucifer. Well, I don't know where you are, mate. I'm moving back to Essex, Stuart, at some point, hopefully before Christmas. Would you know what, Tom? When you enjoy what you do, it's not work. It's fun. It's a hobby. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I look at this. If I looked at this as work and I had to put effort in, so I mean, don't get me wrong, I have to put effort in, but I don't look at it as putting effort in. I enjoy doing what I do, you know. So that's why I keep doing it. And I just hope that it will keep, you know, I hope the channel will keep growing, and I hope that I have reason to continue doing this for time to come, because I enjoy doing it and I enjoy everything about it. So I've been missing the Essex girls. I doubt very much they've been missing me. Oh, you're moving in with him, are you, Holly? Congratulations. Oh, no. Pap does not love Towie. If Pap ever sees any of those twats from Towie, Pap is going to end up in his own video, police body cam, for punching them, because they're all a bunch of knobheads. Well, congratulations, Holly. If you ever get bored with him, you know where I live. Sorry, I'm joking. Oh, it's alright, Stuart. I've still got a video of her and I on the channel. I'll be able to look back over that anytime I want and throw up. Right, that's me. That's me wrapping it up, folks. Thank you all. Whoever's stuck around, I can't see because it's not open on the desktop, so I can't see how many people are still looking. But thank you all for sticking around. I should send you the video of the idiots from our local recruitment office. The mother of the owner trying to pack her car with stuff. Send it over, Stuart. Let's have a look. I'm always up for a laugh. And don't forget as well, if you are new to the channel, anybody, if you're still here, if you have any videos of your police interactions that you think people should know about, you can always send them to me. I do the reports every day, but if I start receiving more videos from people that have had interactions and they want it highlighted or anything like that, then the PAT reports can always be delayed for a day and I can do a double one the following day. So remember, I'm still up for taking people's videos if you've got any. But I have to go because I've got to let the dogs out, and I've got to have a rest before I get into bed because I've been sat in front of a computer for hours now, so I need to rest my eyeballs. Yeah, thank you everybody for your support. Obviously, you know I appreciate it. You know I appreciate all of you, and you know, I wish there was more I could do for you all. But I can't think of anything, so maybe somebody else can. Yeah, so I'm definitely leaving it there. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Most of you are probably going to get into bed now anyway. I've probably bored half of you to sleep. But I shall see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock for a PAT reports. I think there will only be PAT reports tomorrow, not a PAT reports bad bits. But there will definitely be one video at least. Where's it sending to, Stuart? Good night, Unicorn. Don't forget to send that email over. I don't know if you have yet or not, but send it over. And as I say, I'll go through and I'll let you know what we said about earlier. Cool. All right, Stuart, no worries. No problem at all. I'll check that out, mate. Thank you. So, as always, stay safe. Look after each other. Film the police. And all those other cretinous bastards. Good night.